going to go ahead and start streaming. Now let me get myself situated. And let me just make sure that the volume is muted. Yeah, hi guys. Let me just get copy and let me get on YouTube because I'm pretty sure let me go to my page. Post. Hi, my little baby. Oh, she is always with her mommy. Okay. Let's see. Today is Mama Fox's birthday, aka April. I'm just trying to make sure I get all the chats in here. There we go. I don't even know how this all works, to be honest. Creative Critters, probably. As probably. Oh, this is the group. Hold on. No. Pages. Oh, I don't think I can see the Facebook one. Oh, here we go. Okay. Yeah. Okay, so this is the first time I do this, okay, from my Creative Critters page. I'll be honest. I am totally new at this, right? So, can you tell? I am feeling good today. So, I had to be on oxygen earlier, but we're back to reasonable O2 levels. What can I say? So, I'm going to tell you guys what I'm doing today. Let me just make sure that everything is shared, but in a post. Okay. Facebook. All right. Let me see. There's probably nobody going to be really on Twitch, right? Okay. All right, so I'm going to tell you guys what I'm going to be doing today. So, you know, I love Chalk Couture as much as the next guy. Let me just move that a little bit this way. Okay. Like I said, I love Chalk Couture as much as the next person. It is absolutely great what we can do with it. We can do beautiful things like this. But as fancy as these boards are, they are pretty expensive, okay, to buy. And once you buy one, why the heck would you want to give it away if you've paid that much money for it? So I thought, you know, I was doing a reverse canvas project. So I was actually doing this. This is a reverse canvas. And this is actually iron-on vinyl. So I did all this with my Cricut. And I'll be doing a lot more because I want to do another one for ovarian cancer since my mother died of ovarian cancer. But this one's, of course, for cystic fibrosis. Right? It's pretty cute. And I call it a word board. So it's just a bunch of words that just keep me going every day, right? So I wanted to do that. And so I'm going to do one for ovarian cancer as well. And going to do one for no, yes. And I'm going to do one for like all of the other ones, like breast cancer and all that kind of stuff. So I'm hoping that all of that works out okay. It doesn't take me very long to do this, but I'll tell you, I tried whitewashing the board itself with like purple, just purple and water, and I didn't quite like the look of it, so I just went ahead and painted it all purple. And then I did a polyurethane coating on that, which, let me see if I can get it. It's just a clear gloss. Okay. And I love it. Minwax is my favorite stains. I love all their stuff. And they've recently gone another route as well too. So I think they changed their name or something like that. And were acquired by another company, and it's something with a V, I forget it. But it's the same deal. So I did that, and I just gave it a nice coat of clear gloss. Looks good. Now, the only thing I'm going to change is this right here, Be Blessed. We are blessed to be on this earth. I'm going to be changing that to a different font that's a little less, or a little more bold, because it was hard to kind of weed that out. And some of the things I changed, like Just Breathe is really just for us. It's really like a CF or a PF kind of thing. But you know, for other ones, I have other words that I put together. So today I decided I was going to make something for my mother-in-law. Hi, Marcy. I see you. I see you, girl. So I decided I was going to do the same thing. So I figured, okay, so if I could do the reverse canvas thing with my cystic fibrosis stuff, right? I figured, why not do it with Chalk Couture, right? So that's what we're going to do today. So first things first, as always, is I have gloves. I keep gloves in this room nonstop because I just always keep gloves. And especially these gloves, because when you have cystic fibrosis and like you are on IVs or whatever the case may be at that point, you take these rings off. You know, you've got to be very sterile in what you touch and all that kind of stuff. So when I go out or whatever, you'll see me wear that. You'll see me wear masks all the time whenever I'm out, because I have to reduce my contact with germs as much as possible. So what I did, let me show you, is I basically take, I take a canvas like this, and you see the back of it. I basically just remove the actual canvas with a staple remover, and then you end up with a frame like this. Now, if you can see this, I don't know if you guys can see that, there are staple marks on the back of that because I removed the canvas from this. And then what I do is I'll take the canvas and I prep it. I cut off like the folds and stuff like that with just, you know, your regular rotary cutter. Like, who doesn't have one of those, right? And so once you have that out, you can take the frame and stain it with whatever favorite stain you have. You can also leave it, like for example, this is a smaller one. You can leave it in this color, which is its natural wood color, and add like a matte gloss or even that shiny gloss that I just showed you guys, and just leave it the natural color. it's actually a pretty decent frame. I mean, it's nothing like to wow at, right? It's not as nice as, you know, this, right? But it's certainly cheaper. I mean, these things on Amazon are like, I'm going to use the Chalk Couture for inking the mat, the Chalk Couture mat under it, just to protect it. So I already have this. This actually does take about 24 hours to dry. So if you're going to stain it and set it aside, let it dry before you even touch it again. Okay, so, and then, you know, Chalk Couture is great because you get like cool little things. Like this came in the mail for me today, right? And we can do a 4th of July product, like a project for it. I might do that as well. And the great thing about having something like this, though, is that since it is chalk, this actually does come off. So this was a Chalk Couture project, and because it's chalk, it just comes right off. You just like wipe it down and it comes right off, and you can put something new on it. So like if you wanted to buy one of these boards so that you can do seasonal things, that's what I would use these boards for. Otherwise, you know, you can build them like Home Depot. You can go to Home Depot and you can actually buy chalkboards and cut them up, and you know, you can even use these frames and just put a back of chalkboard on it rather than putting a canvas back on it, right? And it would still be pretty neat to have around your house. So it's really cool decor. So this has a little bit of a thing here, but I think that if I actually, yeah, it's not gonna bother. So what I've chosen to do is this cute little saying, which I love this. This is so cute. It says, "Grandchildren, fill the space in your heart you never knew was empty," which is totally true for my mother-in-law. She adores her grandkids in a way that she probably never thought she would. You know, you always think, how can you expand your heart? You know, so when you have kids, you have like 2 kids, and you're like, oh, you know, I couldn't possibly love another child, you know, as much as I love my 2 kids. And then, you know, you all of a sudden get pregnant and you have another one, and then you're like, oh, I just couldn't possibly love my 3 kids more than I do, right? So it always happens. And then when you become a grandparent, it's like, it's great because, you know, you get to enjoy kids all over again, but at the end of the day, you get to usher them home. And I know that's like the best part about being a grandparent, right? Is that you don't have to, like, you know, keep them in your house for a long time. So yeah. Totally. So that's what I'm going to do. And so when you take these off, now normally these stick to chalkboard, which is, you know, not as sticky as some other mediums. I have not yet stuck it to canvas. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure that these things are, you know, we got to fuzz it all up. So I have just a towel here that I'm going to use to fuzz things out. So by fuzzing, I just mean like, this is an actual sticker. So what Chalk Couture actually has brilliantly done is they have made silk screens out of their projects. And it allows for the paint to go through the, you know, see-through portion of this without, you know, getting all messed up. Now, I've done stencils and things like that, and, you know, when you blot them or whatever, sometimes they don't have like these beautifully sharp edges. Well, that doesn't happen with Chalk Couture. And the reason that doesn't happen with Chalk Couture is because even in the see-through parts of this stencil, there's fabric. It just has like 1,000,001 tiny little holes in it that allow the paint to seep through. But they create beautiful, beautiful, sharp edges to everything. So that's always a good thing. And I think that that's something that they've pretty much patented, and it's great to be part of. Like, I am part of Ken's creation team, and I love him. He's so amazing. He has inspired me to do so much, despite all the hardships I've been dealing with lately. So I love him for that. And he has a Chalk Couture team, and through him you can become a member and start doing some of these projects for yourself. So you do want to fuzz things up, and the reason why that's kind of necessary, and what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to put this on here so that I can center it properly. And you want to make sure you fuzz it up quite well, especially if you've never used them before. And, it comes with like little tools and things like that that you can use to really get a very good placement of your stencil. But I know you could see that this is white, but you'll see, it's got like these tiny little dots in it, but it's still actual fabric on it. So that's what really makes Chalk Couture so great. Now I think this is a little not properly centered, but as you can see, because I fuzzed it, I'm able to like pick it up and reposition it however which way I need to. And if you hear my hoarseness, it's, that's part of cystic fibrosis. What can I say? We tend to be pretty hoarse or have a very raspy voice, or sometimes, especially when we're more sick than usual. So you'll probably hear that throughout. All right. And so I think this is pretty good. So then you want to make sure you so it comes with like squeegees and, little tools, and like this is a stir. There's all kinds of things to it. And then the paste is actually called Chalkology, which I love. It's a paste for chalk paint, but it's like really sticky. It's a paste. So it works really well. And I've chosen Morning Sky and Peony as the two colors that I'm going to be using. So that's the two colors that I'm going to be using for the hands. And then this is just plain black, or black velvet actually. I'm going to be using that for this part. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and fuzz these as well. I think the hardest part about Chalk Couture is getting the transfers off the papers. That's probably the hardest part about Chalk Couture. Everything else is so easy, and it's just so great. So we're going to go ahead and just really fuzz these up. So you want to put them on a towel, and they do have a fuzzing cloth available for Chalk Couture. I just can never get one when it's finally up because they sell out like crazy. So I never can get one. It's been a problem for me. But you just want to stick it onto, a fuzzy towel quite a few times so that it isn't as sticky, because then you don't want something to stick completely onto whatever medium you're using, because then it's just going to stay on there permanently and cause a mess. So you want to make sure you can easily lift it up. So just fuzzing that up, and we're going to put that one here. And I'm just going to lightly press it and see if I like the placement. I might want to move it closer. Probably. Okay, so let me fuzz. I'm not going to stick that all the way down just yet, but let me fuzz this so that I can kind of get a feel for what's going on over here. Okay. So again, we're just going to fuzz that. We can keep these backings because we're going to take those transfers. You can reuse them. That's the great thing about Chalk Couture is, you know, you can reuse it all. So you don't want to, you know, get rid of the backing that you're peeling this off. And, you know, Ken does a great thing. He actually takes a Sharpie. Let me do that actually. Take a Sharpie, and he writes on the back. He'll put like hand 1, hand 2, you know, and making sure that it's not on the shiny side, but he'll write on the back so that you know which backing goes to what's saying. So like this one, I can say grandchildren. Right? And you want to just make sure that it's on the more dull side of the backing. But you don't want to get rid of those. Okay, so then we're going to be fuzzing this one and just making sure. And that is a baby. She's cute. She's really cute. Look at this baby. She's so cute. Oh. And so I'm going to be doing that. And, you know, I haven't been doing much with my YouTube channel lately because I have been pretty ill. I'm currently like really suffering from some hearing issues, ear problems, actually. I want that a little closer. And it's been pretty tough to take. So now that I have them where I want them, I want to make sure everything is on there. I can take this away. And what we're going to do is just make sure that the actual pieces that we're going to go over are all good to go. Now, this velvet one, you know, if you haven't used it in a while, you can always refresh it with just like a little water. So I keep a bottle of water here, and I just give it a couple of squirts just to kind of refresh it, especially if it's not a color you often use. It can get a little too pasty, and you don't want that. You want it to be a little bit, you know, you still want it to be a base, but you don't want it to be like super sticky. And really, all it takes is just a little bit. And so we're just going to throw in a little bit onto the different sides. And, you know, don't be afraid to use as much as you need, because the great thing about it also is just it'll come right off. So I've done this with my little stir stick, and now I'm going to go in with my squeegee, and I mean, it literally just glides. And I like to put on a thick layer of it, just to make sure I get into all of the spaces I need to. And we can then start to kind of really put some pressure on it, and you can put that paste right back into the pot. So you're not literally using a whole lot of it, because you are putting some back. So don't be afraid to kind of pack it on, because you can always wipe it away. Right? So there we go. And so now I have a squeegee that's for black, right? So we want to do that. Now, what I do is I do keep a box full. Let me fold these over. I do keep a box full of various ones. So I have another squeegee, and I'll probably use the smaller ones. So there's different sizes, right? So I'll probably use some of the smaller ones for the hands. And then also some stir sticks, some different stir sticks. Now, everything can be washed and reused. That's like the great thing about that. So if I go ahead and use the blue, which I haven't yet. Now, I'm gonna use my Cricut knife. And I just use the Cricut knife to kind of open up any new chalk that I get. Just why not, right? If you've got the tools, use them. So I do use them. I keep paper towels around. And this works, since it's a relatively new paint, it shouldn't need too much, but I'm going to give it a few squirts. I'm going to go ahead and use a new stir stick, and I'm going to, it's probably been sitting on my shelf for a little while. Welcome to life with cystic fibrosis. You never know when you can get back to your stuff, your like everyday life, right? So it's going to need a little more water. But you stir it around and it should come right back to a usable state. I mean, this stuff just never really goes bad. As long as you keep it pretty decently covered and make sure that you are not putting too much, not like, when you screw the top on, it's screwed on right, and not letting too much of the air get into it to dry it up. It comes right back. So just a little bit of water. And you can see it's like a paste. So I'm going to go ahead and use a pretty decent amount and just put that on there. And this one is my okay. And then I'm going to use a small squeegee to kind of work that in there. And then as I'm, feel like it's really getting through where it needs to go, I then start kind of picking it up. Right? And then I just put it right back into the pot, into its pot. And then I leave that one there. And then we're going to do the same thing with the pink. Again, I haven't used the light pink or the light blue, so I'm just going to use my little knife and I'm going to just cut around it. Okay. And I'm going to use my paper towel to wipe my knife away. And I always make sure to keep the cover on that. And should, yep, perfect. So again, this is why you need gloves. Okay, so this is probably also going to need a little bit of water. So I'm going to get a little bit of water in there and start stirring it up. And you see, like, it immediately becomes a nice paste that you can use. So it shouldn't take very long to do that. You give it a good stir. Okay, and then you just take a little bit and you just want to put it onto your canvas or your project. Make sure to get enough of it. Again, don't be afraid to put quite a bit. So we're going to put this one here, and we're going to use a new squeegee for that color. So my experience is you definitely do need to have quite a few of these squeegees and stir sticks and all that good stuff around so that, you know, you can, especially if you're doing multiple colors. So that is that. So now we're going to start to lift. And the great thing about it is that since these silk creams, oh, look at that, it didn't quite pick it up. Oh, I probably should have needed to press a little harder, huh? Either that or one of the two. Okay, we'll figure it out. But it should, again, I was just giving this medium a try because I've never, no, it doesn't want to stick. Well, we'll figure it out. Yeah, it doesn't want to stick to it. So it doesn't seem to work on canvas. So, well, we'll probably do it on wood. What I can do is then, I can then put, like I said, I could put a chalkboard piece that you get at Home Depot. You could put it on here and do that. But, I mean, I can see where it kind of worked. But the great thing about these transfers, though, you know, if you are doing them on chalkboards or wood or whatever the case may be, is that they're completely reusable. So I know they look like there's paint on them and it looks like, oh, well, that's done. No, all you have to do is wash them with some warm water and soap and it comes right off. So I'm going to go ahead and soak these for a little bit and then I'll be right back. I do have my microphone with me, so. But yeah, I was going to try that. I really wanted to try it to see if it worked on like if it worked on canvas. Maybe Chalk Couture does have ink. And maybe ink would work better. So just some warm water and soap, and you let it soak. And then what you want to do is you're going to want to let that dry. And it'll dry, and it'll dry completely clean, and you'll be able to reuse it. And that's why we keep the backing piece of it. So you can put it back. Well, I wanted to try it to see if it would work on canvas. But I think the paste is not going to work on canvas. So my next project is going to be ink. So Chalk Couture does have ink. So let me show you guys. Which I haven't even worked with ink yet. So it does have ink. So you could literally do t-shirts. This is permanent ink. This does not come off. You can wash it, you can do whatever. And just like you would do a heat transfer, you do need like an iron to like heat transfer it. But that will be the next thing I try. So that is one project. And I wanted to try that because I really wanted to try to do something like this. So I'll probably try doing this in ink. This is for my best friend Jen. It's a little present for her. So I'll probably try to do that in ink. And then for this one, for the grandchildren one, what I can do is I can use this and put a chalkboard piece on the back. And then do that with the actual paint. So that's what I'll do. But, you know, the great thing, like I said, the great thing about Chalk Couture is you can try different things. And, you know, they do have different mediums. And they do have different, you know, chalk paste or chalk ink. So I really recommend the ink for canvas. I'll try that next. How about that? But speaking of, let me just make sure that I get all of these into the water, because we want to make sure we clean those. And again, everything is completely reusable. What are you doing, Missy? Get out of there. Oh, she's playing with the water. That's That's what she's doing. She's playing with the water. Get out of there. Oh, she's so cute. She's going to come over here. She's going to come over here. So, I will do that with ink and maybe do it another day. But now I know, right? I had a question. I got an answer. Wasn't necessarily the answer I was looking for, but we can try it with ink. And I think when it comes to ink, let's see here, that goes there. I could do a couple colors. I definitely have quite a lot of colors in that to do it in ink. So I was originally wanting to do something a little bit more, I have a lot of pink colors, but I don't have a lot of blues in the ink, for sure. But anyways, the other thing I've been working on and I've just finished is this. This is a actual beautiful thing. Like, I love this thing. It is a shawl, and I created it out of this yarn, Red Heart and More, or Moire, whichever one you'd like to say. It's I think this is polyester, isn't it? Like 100% polyester? I can't say. One ball. Okay. It's a 4. It's a 4 weight, so it's an Aran weight. I think it's polyester, to be honest with you. I can't. It doesn't say. Oh yeah, 100% polyester. Yeah, found it. It's a medium weight 4. And I did a dark gray, and then I did 2 teals. Now, anybody that knows anything about ribbons, support ribbons, right? You guys know that purple is cystic fibrosis, but teal is ovarian cancer. And this is for my sister. And I made it for her in honor of her mother. And it has 4 repeating rows of the light teal, the dark teal, and the dark gray for each one of her children. My mom did have 4 children. Only my sister and I are surviving here, but you know, I wanted to honor that and give this for my sister. It's huge, and the pattern is not mine. It's from Crystal at Bago de Crochet. This is the Innocence Shawl. She has a YouTube channel, and I love her. She's amazing, and she has such a big heart, and she's just great. She's fantastic. But this is her pattern, and I made it big enough so that you could kind of wrap yourself around it with it. You know, so I'm really looking forward to seeing her reaction about it, because you know, sometimes my sister can be a little quirky in what she likes and doesn't like. So I hope she likes it, but I made it for her, and I'm going to be mailing that off to her. And then I'm still working on Jake's blanket. That's another one, and that's huge, and I can't even hold it up for you guys to see. It's pretty big. But I love, love, love this yarn. It's very, very soft. Just very, very soft. For polyester, man, that is fantastic. So I did that, and I just finished that. And I put a light gray border all around it with a little bit of a ruffle edge, which that was kind of my thing. I don't think Crystal does that. But other things I've been working on. Now, my new brother-in-law, so my best friend Jen, she's like a sister to me. She just got married on May 4th. And so my new brother-in-law has a request. He wants me to make him a backpack, right? And he wants the gator colors, because Florida Gators, right? Meanwhile, he's asking a Seminole to create him this thing, right? And I'm just like, I'm so tempted to send him like maroon and gold, which is the Seminole colors, just out of spite. But no. So I'm going to send him the, blue, it's like a royal blue with a bright orange. Those are the gator colors. So I'm going to be making him that coming up soon. I made one for my niece, and apparently they love it. So, and then I am going to create one for Jen. And it's a little bit of a shorter thing. So I'm going to use the Red Heart with Love stripes. Love these colors. So I'm probably going to be doing that in those colors. So, well, that's kind of what I'm doing with my whips. And if you guys have any questions, let me know. And then I will see you guys back soon to do the Chalk Couture ink project and try ink on canvas. And hopefully that works a little bit better. All right, guys. Talk to you later. Bye.